Kenneth mentioned, I'm here to show you how you can future-proof your career through lifelong learning. Okay. Let me just ask you a quick question. How many of you here believe you are lifelong learners? Raise your hand. I raise my hand as well. Great. How many of you here want to become lifelong learners? There you go. Yes, double hands for Penny. Okay. All right, so pretty cool. And I hope you become lifelong learners after this. Okay. One more question. When was the last time you learned something for the first time? Do you remember? Yes, yeah. When was the last time you learned something new or something for the first time? Yesterday? This morning? Now? Great. Okay, that's the first step. So here we go. All right. So we all know this group, millennials, and with all due respect, it's not about the age really. But then what we realize is we have about how many? 56 million young people joining the workforce by next year, okay, or in a few years. That's about half of the population of the entire Philippines. Do you realize that? Okay. Now that means a lot of competition perhaps, a lot of opportunities, and that leads us to tremendous changes in the workforce. Okay. A lot of new learning strategies have to be adopted because our attention spans, are they short or are they longer now? Short. Do we rely on our mobile phones every day? Yes, all right. So we have to go with the flow, and you have to be self-driven and realistic with your learning strategies. Let's take a look quickly on what these learning trends are for the rest of the year and the next year. We have content creation, and that's the work that we do. How do we curate content? Perhaps some of you here create content, right? And this content you see on tweets, right? How many tweets do you see every day? 28 million. How many blog posts do you see every day? You have 208,000. And how many videos are viewed every day? Millions. Okay? Can you do that all in 24 hours? There's so much out there. We don't really know what we should learn, what we should not learn, or when and how. The curation process allows us to gather information, and then we filter it and make sure you authenticate the information, and then you deliver that. So does this mean a confusion for us? Or does this mean, yes, you have a lot of opportunities to continue learning? We have a lot of bite-sized video nuggets, right? At your fingertips, literally. Like right now, at your cell phones, or your tablets, or your laptops. Okay? So it's not surprising how much people can learn, whether you're a millennial, a Gen X, Gen Y, whichever generation, that's so possible now. You also have short and targeted micro-learning videos. We design a lot of videos, 30 minutes is already too long. Okay? How much of the content do we retain when we watch a video? Research says 95%. Do you agree? Yes? Are you part of that generation or that culture? Let me share with you this example of a micro-learning.
One example of a cash deposit is a time deposit. This is considered the safest investment product, since the bank guarantees that the money invested by the client will be returned in full, plus any interest earned from the amount deposited. Available currencies. Time deposits are available in peso, dollar, and the Chinese yuan. Available placement terms. Clients may choose a time deposit that will mature in 1, 2, 3, and 6 months, or 1, 2, 3, 5, or 7 years. Debt instruments, or bonds, refer to the commitment of the borrower to repay the lender the principal amount at a fixed interest rate for a defined time period. The borrower in a bond is also known as the issuer of the bond. The issuer may be a company or a government. The lender would be the investor in.
Examples of microlearning videos that we did for financial institutions. Did you recognize the movie there? Back to the Future? Did you recognize the character in Bonds? James Bond, right? Pretty entertaining and engaging. Aside from that, we have what we know as social learning. You become part of a community of learners. You become part of a community of colleagues at your workplace, perhaps, or you join an organization where you share the same interests, perhaps like me in training and development, or you can join organizations that are into programming, or such as the other organizations with IBPAP, software, health information, and so on. Okay, by how much percent can retention rates go? 70%. Isn't that high? Yeah? So can we now take advantage of what these learning trends can do for us in the long run? Let's take note that social learning favors a more common sense-based real-life approach for us to acquire knowledge and skills. You're not isolated watching a video or just reading a book, but you learn from your peers, your supervisors, or even other people in other organizations. We are aware of Quora, we are aware of Brainly, and these are portals where we can learn from other people. You can chat with them on forums, you can access massive open online courses or MOOCs. And of course, who doesn't know chatbots and AI? When you go to a website now, right, there's already a pop-up for you to ask your questions. We know who the chatbots can take over some roles, especially in customer service, and perhaps even in some tech issues, right? You have a tech issue and instead of calling a person on the phone, a chatbot can answer you on the website or on the app. Who doesn't know Alexa? Who doesn't know Siri? And there's also an airline that has their own airline virtual assistant, or AVA. Okay, who knows who's next? You can save time and effort and a lot of resources when you have these just-in-time learning modalities. We have to adapt to AI, that's artificial intelligence. AI reinforces our learning, and plus we have augmented reality, virtual reality, and even mixed media. There are endless possibilities with AR, VR, and even MR. I've even heard of medical schools now that they don't just give lectures, but they present a hologram of the human body for medical students to understand which are the organs and how they function. Big data. As learners, when you take courses online, big data is able to harvest how you learn, what time do you learn, how soon did you finish the course, where were you successful, where did you fail? And that data can help us to design better courses for you in the long run. Now, despite those trends that you saw, very exciting, I find it very exciting, there are also threats that are inevitable. Just like Thanos, these threats are inevitable when it comes to technology. What are these? We are in the industry of offshoring and outsourcing. You can compete with other people. Investors can can choose other companies that can probably give them lower rates. It's a fact, it's a reality. We Filipinos can compete with other countries, but we have our own competitive advantage, but there's no guarantee. We also heard about robots. Not only are they coming, they are here. There are robots already in airports, in hotels, perhaps in your own office. Economic downturns, that's a reality of business. Sometimes your businesses or your projects or your accounts will sunset, and sometimes new projects can arise. But what will happen to you if that happens? Immigration. People go to other countries, and that means competition and also opportunities. So employers can choose not just the local citizens, but they can choose other immigrants or foreign citizens who have better skills. How will that affect you in the Philippines? And of course, the bottom line. Okay? Especially if you work with publicly listed companies, we are bound by the goals of our shareholders. So what will happen if you don't innovate yourselves? Are you just going to evaporate? Let's take a look at what lifelong learning means. Lifelong learning is the ongoing, voluntary, and self-motivated pursuit of knowledge for either personal or professional reasons. Okay, I'd like to highlight ongoing, it's non-stop, voluntarily. You are proactive and you take initiative, and self-motivated as well. This enhances our social inclusion, our active citizenship, personal development. You sustain yourself no matter what crisis happens in your life or in your own company, and you become more competitive. And of course, you become more employable wherever you go, right? Would you agree? Yes. And learning can be seen as something that takes place on an ongoing basis from our daily interactions with others and with the world around us. This alone is an opportunity for you to learn. Learning can shape-shift from formal or informal learning and even to self-directed learning. Do you wait for your supervisor or your team lead to tell you what you should learn? Or can you take initiative on what else you can learn on the job and even outside? I cannot emphasize enough that lifelong learning is of vital importance, especially with the emergence of new technologies. I myself have to future-proof my own career. And these technologies, I'd like to emphasize assisted technology. There are no excuses now for even people with disabilities. They have all of these opportunities to learn. With Web 2.0, we have access to a lot of resources at our fingertips. And of course, in the workplace, you have your peers, your colleagues, and other mentors that you can find and you can learn from. Why should we engage in lifelong learning? Let's highlight some of the benefits. It will keep you healthy, right? Do you agree? So studies have shown that learning something new, whether it's for your job or even like learning a new hobby, perhaps learning a musical instrument or learning calligraphy, can keep your brain cells healthy. It can also help you stay connected. We are social human beings. It will help you to stay in touch with other people, not just online where you can like and comment on your Facebook or on your LinkedIn, but you actually get to meet these people in person, offline, and that's a richer experience for you. It can also help you stay fulfilled, right? Whenever you are learning, it motivates you to overcome the adversities on the job, challenges on the job, the downturns in the economy, and you can rise above those. Definitely, you will succeed at your job. So even if a lot of changes happen, people leave the company or companies close or you have to be let go, you are ready, you are armed with lifelong learning. And of course, it's easier than ever. You have your laptop, you have your smartphone, you have your desktop, right? For you to access a lot of forms of learning, whether this be on video or infographics and so on. Let me highlight online learning. One of the benefits of online learning or e-learning is that it keeps us engaged, right? You learn something, you are able to accomplish or learn a new skill, and then you will look for more, and you will want to progress further with what you're learning. There's seamlessness with e-learning. What I love about it is, if you have, let's say, colleagues around the world, and you want to make sure that you can standardize the information, you really have to make sure that the learning is provided across all geographies and you can speak the language. Or let's say you forgot something and you have to perform a process. You can call easily, or you can rather check online, go to your portal and get the information. You don't have to call the phone, look for someone, wait forever and get an answer. Of course, this is very convenient and flexible. You can manage to take your course at your own time as much as possible. Let's say while you're waiting for the train, you're waiting for your doctor, or you're waiting for your meeting to start, you can kickstart your lifelong learning. I cannot emphasize enough that we have to be agile. We have to learn how to adapt to different ways for us to learn, whether it's online or offline, and we have to, not necessarily be an expert in all of these new technologies, but at the very least, stay abreast and then find your own niche. E-learning is contextualized and personalized because we're able to get how you learn. We have to know what your goals are, and that's part of our job so that you can maximize your retention. Definitely, this is self-driven and self-paced. You don't have to lose productive hours, you don't have to take a leave, but if you can have an arrangement on how you can accomplish your e-learning or your training roadmap, then that is very possible. This enables us to be connected with other communities, with other geographies, and your counterparts around the world. And of course, I love the opportunity for social learning, where you can be part of communities, as we said, and you can collaborate and be part of bigger projects that can serve the greater good. Let's take a look at this example.
Navigate through the course using Previous, Next, Pause, Play, and Menu buttons. Money laundering is the process of converting the proceeds of criminal activities into seemingly legitimate cash and assets. It is a global concern as laundered earnings can be used, among other things, to finance terrorism. Our country participates in the international effort to curb such activities. Republic Act 9160, also known as the Anti-Money Laundering Act, or AMLA, was signed into law in 2001. The government agency tasked with implementing the act is the Anti-Money Laundering Council, or the AMLC. Outstanding! A criminal plot is afoot. A crime syndicate has made it its mission to use the bank to sanitize its funds and will use any means to accomplish it. It's up to you to foil its schemes as you uncover them through the module. Good luck! Be warned and click Next to proceed. Topic 1. Opening an account. Here are the lists of acceptable IDs for individuals applying for an account. Click each category to learn more. Did you know that the old laminated postal ID is very easy to counterfeit? So Philpost issued a new postal ID card. It is made from durable plastic similar to an ATM card, is valid for 3 years, and has the following security features: fingerprints, photo, signature, and personal details, centralized ID printing, encrypted quick response or QR code. The old postal ID will remain valid up to its date of expiration. Customers shall be classified. A potential customer. Customers shall be classified using the bank's Customer Risk Rating Score Chart, CRRSC, prior to account opening. Click each link under each risk classification to learn more. or a corporate account approaches you. He mentions that he was referred to you by a valued client. He carries his documents in a folder and lays it on your desk. All right, now it's time to see what you've learned. Nope. Groovy. A potent KYC program and a well-informed workforce are our most effective weapons against being unwittingly used in the laundering of money or the financing of terrorism. Knowing your customer and being alert to unusual or suspicious transactions can help deter and detect money laundering schemes. So, what do we all need to do? We must focus on the quality, not the quantity, of the accounts that we solicit. Topic 6. Review and Assessment. In this module, you have learned about customer types, risk class and level of customer due diligence, who are and are not allowed to open an account opening document requirements. To complete this module, you will need to complete an exam. You must achieve a score of 80% to pass. I'm afraid you're not getting off that easy. You'll need to get through them first. A horde of criminals is attempting to overwhelm the bank's defenses. Keep the malefactors at bay by answering all the questions. Take very good care when answering. One mistake and it will be all over for the bank and for you.
Final round.
You have been defeated. Your knowledge of MLPP has been found lacking.
Game over.
You have been defeated. Your knowledge of MLPP has been found lacking. In this module, you have learned about customer types, risk class, and level of... I'm afraid you're not getting off that easy. You'll need to get through them first. A horde of criminals is attempting to overwhelm the bank's defenses. Keep the malefactors at bay by answering all the questions. Take very good care when answering. One mistake and it will be all over for the bank and for you.
Final round.
You have been defeated. Your knowledge of MLPP has been found lacking.
Game over.
You have been defeated. Your Congratulations! You passed the exam.
Of an e-learning that we developed for financial institutions, the Anti-Money Laundering Act, very popular topic these days. And we have to do that because we have no excuses now to fight financial terrorism and money laundering, not just in the Philippines, but around the world. Let me highlight as well what blended learning is. And I'm very fortunate that I've been able to work in both online learning and even classroom learning. You get the best of both worlds. Okay? You get to meet mentors, coaches, peers, not just here but around the world, but you get information also at your fingertips. This enhances training effectiveness. So take note, in learning and development, our shareholders will always check for the bottom line. Is there a return on investment with what we spent for you, for your learning? If yes, then we go on. If not, then they have to make a decision in terms of cutting costs or expenses. But if you're able to acquire the learning that's necessary for you to succeed on the job, you'll make your shareholders happy and of course yourselves. And that empowers you. You're empowered to learn what you need to learn. You're empowered to even share what you have to learn, right? In your community, in your workforce, and among your teams. And isn't that fulfilling? Blended learning enhances soft skills, right? Yes, the robots are here, but would you agree that we humans are the ones who have better skills in terms of communication, empathy, problem solving, critical thinking, and even leadership? We'll learn more about that later. Let me end with this. This is a strategy. It's not etched in stone, but of course, I want to make sure that you have something that you can apply right away. Take note, learning is not when you read a book. Learning is not when you finish a video on YouTube, on AMLA, or design thinking. Learning happens when you apply it, when you do it, and when you teach it. Remain tech savvy, right? I hope no one is a dinosaur around here, but if you're willing to learn, you can be tech savvy. Pardon me, but I mean that fondly. Okay. Develop skills to carry with you no matter where you go, whether your team has to sunset, your company has to sunset. I used to work with Convergys, now it's not Convergys, it's Concentrix now. Okay? All right, so you bring your skills with you no matter what. Think globally. The world is so boundless right now. You're probably working with your colleagues based in Dublin, in Ireland, your colleagues in Dumaguete City. We have a team there. I love working with that. You have supervisors, and you can even find mentors that are from other countries. Isn't it great if you can open your minds to different ways of thinking and learning as well? Keep a success journal. Write down your accomplishments, your successes at the end of the day. What does this do for you? This will help you rewire your brain, and it can help you attract more successes on a day-to-day basis. And most of all, be grateful for those successes. Yes, you might fail. Yes, you might have commit mistakes, but what matters is how you can springboard yourself up from that failure. Build your professional network. Perhaps you can start it here if you don't already have one. I love being part of other organizations where I can harness my skills, where I can meet like-minded people who have the same interests as I do. Because you know what? Sometimes it's not enough that you are just friends on Facebook or other social media platforms, but once you build real relationships offline, perhaps the opportunities will come to you. Keep a clear and open career path. Things can happen. Those threats are inevitable, just like Thanos. So what do? Do you say that, no, this is what we've always been doing, we don't want to learn something new? Or can you say, let me take a look at it and let's try it out? I've heard that very often, and that has been quite a challenge when people say that, No, we cannot do that because we've never done that before. Develop resilience. You don't just have a plan A, have a plan B, and even have a plan C. Did I have a plan B when my father passed away and we were planning to build his training business and go global? No, I wasn't ready for that. But I'm here now and I'm thankful because Penny is also my mentor and I am a product of future-proofing my own career. Learn on the fly. Be open to what you can learn either through your gadgets, through your colleagues, through other people in your community who have the same skills or the same interests. Be open and adapt to that. Embrace it because it's either you innovate yourselves, you reinvent yourselves, or you just evaporate. Be open. If you receive feedback when you fail on something or you commit a mistake, be open to constructive criticism and not wallow and give up. So what really matters is how resilient you are in bouncing back and learning something new. And lastly, adopt a strategy of lifelong learning. What I shared shared earlier might not be applicable to you or to you over there at the back, but you can devise your own because lifelong learning can be customized for your own needs and for your own learning styles. You have to do that, and that has to be your choice. Otherwise, you just might evaporate, and I'll be very sad if that happens. On that note, that's the end of my talk. Thank you very much.